Hey there, Starcraft 2 fans. Welcome to a broadcast by Violent Player. This is actually the first broadcast that I'm doing. I've never done one of these before. Hoping that it turns out, fair enough that I can hopefully do a few more of these in the future. I'm trying to cast mainly 2v2s, 3v3s, and 4v4s, strictly because I want to kind of help people learn to identify how to play these matches efficiently. I know it's sometimes difficult because you get cheesed all the time, there's cannon rushes, six pulls just everywhere, and sometimes it can be really frustrating. And that's actually what we're going to go over today, is one of the frustrating aspects of dealing with some aggression early on, some early game pressure, and basically what amounts to what a lot of people would consider to be cheese. Unfortunately, in multiplayer matches like this, you really can't consider it cheese because they're just taking advantage of the situation. Now, if you're able to take advantage of them attempting to do that, then more power to you. You can definitely gain a huge economic advantage because by making that early push, they're definitely going to be behind in terms of economy. So let's take a look at what's going on here. Down on the southeast side, we have Mark, the red Protoss. We have Alright, the teal Protoss. And we have Slidey, the blue Protoss. As you can see, since all of these are Protoss, obviously we were concerned about a cannon rush early on. That's definitely something you want to consider when you have any Protoss on your team, is just to do a little bit of scouting. Up in the northwest corner, we have myself playing the orange Terran. We have Evo playing the yellow Zerg, and we have R. Wong playing the purple Zerg. This map in particular, Akaran Citadel, I believe it's called, has a couple of hiding places, especially up here toward the top, where you can hide a probe, and that can be a lot of trouble. You can see that the yellow Zerg player is doing a little bit of scouting, and that's to check for those proxy gateways or proxy forges with a cannon rush coming. And that's definitely something that you need to do, is poke around the map, look for those hidden buildings, hidden tech buildings, whatever they might be. One place that obviously we did not check is here on this ramp, which could be definitely a problem had we have not scouted there and then they had showed up. He does go ahead and take this Zelnaga watchtower just to check that out. Taking a look at the production tab, you can see that yellow is throwing down an additional hatchery. Evo's throwing down an additional hatchery. And you can see that down here with the Protoss players, they are actually chrono boosting out several Zealots. Each player actually has several Zealots coming out. You'll notice on the production tab, no cyber cores on the way. We do have from the red player an assimilator. So obviously he's going to look to the future a little bit. Obviously he's going to push with his comrades here, put on a lot of early pressure. But he is going to go ahead and look to the future and consider, maybe he's going to need some gas coming up. Neither of the other players, please note, do not have that. Myself, I'm going for a 3 racks, obviously getting the double tech lab so I can get stim, combat shields. Those are definitely something you need to get early on. If you're going for marauders, definitely get the slow. The yellow Zerg player, since he went for such an early expansion, his pull finished not long ago. He's got a couple Zerglings out, but really that's it. Over here, the purple Zerg player, he's putting down his Roach Warren. He has about 6 Zerglings. Not much going on there, though. Really, in terms of, if we look out here at what's coming, there's really not a lot of defense up. I remember watching a Day 9 Daily where he talked about multiplayer maps, and one of the things that he emphasized was dying slowly so your teammates can have an advantage to really capitalize on their economy and really capitalize on their tech advantage. So what we're going to look at here is both of these players, actually all 3 of them. There are some lagging Zealots back here from Teal are going to come in. These Zerglings are going to confront them right away. Actually, they get a pretty good surround here on Mark's units. However, unfortunately, there's just too many Zealots, and bringing the drones off the line, I don't know that was the best decision on his part. Probably only killed maybe 1 or 2 Zealots, if any, with those drones, and you can see that his drone count really has dropped down. Right now, he's sitting on 5 drones. With these Zealots in here, he's going to take those out in no time. I'm going to go ahead and pull over a little bit of my infantry, kind of kite these Zealots around a little bit. It is increasingly difficult when you're under this stress to maintain composure, and that is something I do recall having a bit of trouble with in this map, was just staying calm, staying on top of what I was doing. we go back to the production tab, you can see that they're continually producing Zealots. They have 3, 2, and 2 on the way, so there's just more and more Zealots all rallied up here to the north. You can see them traveling up here to attack us. With my continued pressure, I've actually been able to almost put a stop to the pressure. Unfortunately, they continue just pumping these Zealots in here, and with only me producing units to defend, me and yellow that is, it's really not enough to hang on to what advantage we did have or possibly could have. You'll see that the hatchery here for purple is going down quite quickly. It's down to only 300 health now. Fortunately, I was able to take advantage of the Zealots that are only attacking the hatchery and not coming for me, and obviously you can kill those if they're not focusing on you. Unfortunately, with the continued Zealots that are coming in, finally we have a cyber core going down from red. Finally, possibly going to use that gas. Unfortunately, no probes right there. Something you never want to see are idle probes like that. Definitely get those guys back to work. Obviously, they see that their pressure is not entirely working. Throw down the cyber core, throw down double gas. Blue actually is just going to continue. Sitting on about 200-300 minerals here. That's a little disconcerting. Not many probes going on, so definitely should be pumping out some more probes with those extra minerals, not just sitting on that cache. Now, purple did actually lose his hatchery. Fortunately, I've built up a fair-sized army. Yellow's been producing some roaches, which are definitely can kite around the Zealots quite a bit. And with this hatchery over here that he has in addition to his main base, he's able to definitely get some extra income, some extra needed income. Some more Zerglings coming across here. And now we decide that it's time to actually push back against them. Now, knowing that I have slow on my Marauders, I have stem for my Marines and Marauders, and with these roaches, we can kite these Zealots around all day. So, knowing that they don't have any other type of technology, it's going to be easy to push in here and do some substantial damage. If nothing else, we should be able to go tit for tat and eliminate at least one of the players, just like they severely injured us by taking out our purple companion here. Now, purple did ask for some minerals. He is able to rebuild. I don't know before the end of the game if he'll be able to make any contributions. However, at least he is not completely out of the game. A lot of times people will just leave the game when it comes to time, when they're really having some trouble. That's not always the best solution. You're really kind of letting your teammates down. Granted, your income is sent over to them, but it's kind of disheartening for your teammates because they know that they're now going to have to control, if you have a base, they're going to have to control what's left of your base, and it's just frustrating. Now you'll see, fortunately, most of Yellow's units were taken out, sacrificed for my units, but I'm going to go ahead and push in here and do some damage. You notice I'm targeting the pylons, and the reason I'm doing this is mainly to take out his gateways, so he's not able to produce any more units. You'll see that he did throw down the forge so he could get some cannons as defense. Clearly that did not work out for him because the production time of the cannons is just too great. He did actually never get his cyber core down. He threw down a double assimilator, but never did the cyber core. Again, with this many units, never a good idea to attack with your workers. They're just not going to do enough damage really to make it worthwhile. Now with red and teal bringing over some more units, you'll see that I have to kite around a little bit more. Yellow's doing the same thing, trying to do as much damage as possible. But we've pretty much negated blue from the game. He does have a couple of probes producing. He does have 120 minerals in the bank, and obviously he has his teammates. But aside from that, he has nothing. He has no pylons. His gateways are totally unpowered. He's got a Zealot here that's nearly finished producing, and a forge. So he really has nothing. So by taking him out of the game and allowing our purple player to get back into the game, we've really capitalized on their missteps. Now you'll see most of my units did get taken out. Teal managed to push in here with some stalkers. With that cyber core that he got down, he was able to produce some stalkers out of his gateways. However, still no warp gate technology. Now that is definitely something that, oh there it goes, finally. So chrono boosting that out, obviously, need to take care of that. Now with the Nexus going down, the gateway going down, all the pylons, the forge is down, there's really nothing left over here. The last few units I have are going to get taken out, and right now, basically my barracks I have 4 racks. They are all rallied to that south location, and I have them all hotkeyed, just producing units as quickly as possible. Down here to take out these stalkers. And remember, without that warp gate technology, these units are taking so long to produce that it's really not worth it for them. A bad rally point there, really not paying attention to the units, that really hurts. I've had that happen more times than I care to count. You'll notice again I'm targeting the pylons because, after all, if I can either do one of two things, supply block him, or if I can shut down his production buildings, I will be doing a huge favor to my teammates. Red here is doing a little bit of damage to my units, but really with only 3 stalkers versus the 4 marauders now that I have here, those stalkers don't stand a chance. Stalkers are just too weak versus marauders. So one last stalker made it out, doing a little bit of damage, but unfortunately all these gateways are now unpowered. There's absolutely no probes left here mining. However, he did manage to get an expansion up here, but that's not going to do him much good since the Zerglings have wiped out all of those probes. Teal does go ahead and leave the game. Blue, yeah, definitely leaving the game right after that. I don't think these 2 assimilators are going to cut it. Now, Red does have a little bit of technology left, but he does go ahead and leave the game. So you can see how not only were we able to hold off the pressure, but by our purple teammate dying as slowly as he did, by us kiting around those zealots, by him creating as many Zerglings as possible just to frustrate the zealots, mess with the AI, force the AI to pull off and chase the Zerglings around on the creep. That really does a lot in terms of allowing both Yellow and myself to tech up, get our economy going full speed. If we take a look over here at the income tab, you notice that I was only at 21 SCVs, which is actually quite low. Yellow's sitting over here at 35 drones, obviously because he has the expansion. So he was definitely making use of that economy. With his layer down, from here he could have gone to Aspire, and I don't think that the other team would have had any answer to it, simply because they were so late in teching. To tech that late, you're really delaying any type of blink stalker activity that you could do to chase down Mutalisk. Your Colossus would come out so late. Hydralisk could do so much damage. So on these 2v2s and 3v3s, if you're going to rush, you really are taking a big risk. In a lot of cases, I think it's actually better for 1 or 2 teammates to rush and the other 1 or 2 to tech up, simply because you're making the other team nervous, but at the same time you're allowing yourself the opportunity to get that tech, get that extra income, get those extra expansions. So if you're going to definitely do something like this, you have to do it a lot more effectively, number 1. And by effectively, you might be asking what I mean by that. Definitely the best thing for these guys to do would have been to proxy, either here on this ledge. Obviously, we scouted up here. Had they have proxied here, that would have definitely been pretty unfortunate for them. But to proxy on one of these ledges, or just somewhere out here in the open over next to this gold expansion, just so the rush distance for all those zealots isn't quite so long. Had those zealots gotten there any sooner, I don't think we would have been able to hold it off. I hope you guys enjoyed this broadcast. I hope this helps you work on your 2v2 and 3v3 if this is the type of game that you play. I look forward to casting more games in the future, and thanks for watching.